This is a demonstration on how to use refractions as a MIDI filter or MIDI effect in Audiobus. A little context: MIDI inputs are usually controllers like keyboards that send MIDI nodes and data to sound generators like synthesizers. MIDI filters aren't as common as audio effects like reverbs or delays, but they act in the same sort of way. They take a pure MIDI signal, alter it in some way, and then pass it along to the MIDI out. I'll explain more as I show you refractions. I'm starting by selecting the MIDI effect plus button and selecting refractions. And then selecting port 1, which corresponds to track 1 in refractions and MIDI channel 1 in my synth. Once that is launched, I'm selecting a MIDI output, which is a sound generator, with the plus button on the right side. For this, I'm selecting Animoog. Once Animoog is launched, I'll enter refractions by tapping the refractions icon. Inside refractions, I'm entering all my notes in the top track, which is track 1, because I chose port 1 in Audiobus, and Animoog is set to receive messages on MIDI channel 1. You can hear it playing the Animoog synth instead of the refractions internal sounds. Even in the MIDI effects slot, I can use the refractions interface and sequencer like a MIDI input, sending notes to the synth. Next, I'll go back to Audiobus and select a MIDI input using the plus button on the left side. I'm selecting the Midiflow Keyboard, which is a MIDI controller keyboard app. Once it launches, I can enter it by tapping the app icon. In the keyboard, I'm scrolling down a couple of octaves so it'll be easier to hear the new notes that I'm adding. Adding some lower notes. These notes have entered the refraction sequencer loop, and over time they'll change and evolve. That's what makes refractions a MIDI filter. It takes MIDI notes from an external controller, loops them, and then changes them over time into new compositions. Next, I'm scrolling up to a higher octave and adding some high notes. Another feature about refractions is that incoming MIDI notes are automatically mapped to the musical scale selected in the refraction settings panel. So regardless of what keys I play on the controller, they'll be mapped to my selected musical scale. With refractions sitting between any type of MIDI input and MIDI output, it's quite versatile as a MIDI effect unit.